everyone, this is JP with Modern Gravity Float Studio here in Edmonton, Alberta. This series is called Storytime, which is really just filler content because we need different things to come up with. We own a float studio here, and it's really just stories about owning a float studio in Edmonton. And today's story is about our first official float in the house, back when we used to run a single tank out of a basement, out of a laundry room in a townhouse down the street. So I wrote up a script. Shame. Matt's behind the camera, making noise, trying to mess with my flow here.
Sorry, that was my bad.
Yeah, I'd say. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So today's story starts off with a journey back in time. Let's enunciate. So today's story starts off with a journey back in time, before I understood that adding a bunch of Epsom salt to water leads to silky relaxation, and before I realized this discovery would lead to over 1,200 people stripping off their skivvies to get naked and relax in my laundry room. So this happened back in 2012 or 2013. I was downstairs in my room sitting at my computer desk, elbows braced, holding my head, and I started to nod off. I was stressed out about something, and instead of taking a nap, I decided to just sit where I was, in an odd and specific position. Big mistake. I fell asleep for only a split second, and at that moment my head shifts down and my thumbnail jabs directly into my right eye. And just like that, unknowingly, life changed forever. I drew awake immediately, thinking to myself, what just happened? My eye is in pain. So many tears. Wow, did I really just poke myself in the eye by falling asleep? That's new. A few minutes pass, the waterworks stop, and my eye is still in pain, but it feels like it's getting better. So I think to myself, that was a pretty stupid way to injure yourself. But whatever, and continue on with the day. So for context, this was back when I was still working in the trades as a millwright and worked shutdowns on various oilfield sites. I like to call it shutdown hopping. It doesn't have any relevance to this story, but it's a fun fact about me in case you want to know. That said, we'll now fast forward into the future.
If possible, make us want to look at the camera a little more often.
All this footage is going to be overlaid. With,
all of it?
Well, a lot of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I choose when I look at the camera.
You do what you want.
Yeah, producer Matt. I had recently received a call for a shutdown lasting 2 to 3 weeks. Like usual, I drove my truck up north, found the camp I would be staying at, and waited until the next morning to start work. After a few days of working at site, my jabbed eye starts to act up. Some mild irritation from the accident the other day, I thought. Except this time it didn't heal quickly like it had a few weeks prior. Instead, it gets worse over the course of time, and the next morning, it starts to swell. My brain tells me, uh-oh, this is a problem. I decided to take a trip to the Fort McMurray Hospital for some professional help. Also the same hospital I was born at, another fun fact with no relevance. Some time passes, and I eventually get to see a doctor who assesses my story and takes a better look at my gobbled up right eye. More time passes, and a nurse comes into my room to inform me that I have a pretty serious eye infection, and that I need to see a specialist like yesterday. So I phoned my wonderful girlfriend to explain the situation I was in. She says, can you fly back home? I say, yeah, that's a wonderful idea, fantastic girlfriend, thank you. I phoned my mom for scheduling aid, and like magic, the flight is booked. The magic of the internet brings success once again. I'd also like to take this moment to thank scientists for inventing airplanes, because moving through the sky with reduced friction substantially helps with the speed issues in life. I make it to the specialist on time. They tell me I have a corneal abrasion and give me fancy eye drops to kill the infection. Easy peasy, right? Nope. Little do I know with this corneal abrasion, my eye will never heal back to 100% before the incident, which sucks because it's sensitive. For example, if I wake up and my eye is slightly dry, the abrasion opens back up and puts me out of commission for a few days. Or say I wake up and rub my face slightly too aggressively, the abrasion opens back up and puts me out of commission for a few days. Basically, I got a fragile right eye. It's not the end of the world and it hasn't affected my vision at all. So now that you understand my woes, we can now fast forward to the day of our first float. Back then we did 90-minute floats, and because we only had a single tank, if 2 people can float at the same time, one person would have to sit upstairs with us while we talked to them for about 2 hours until the tank was ready. Rinse and repeat that process from 8 a.m. till midnight, and you have Matt and I running a float tank out of the townhouse. Fun times. So of course, on the first day of operating this questionable townhouse business, my old friend Right Eye Corneal Abrasion has come for a prolonged visit by reopening a few days prior. I should mention part of having the issue is light sensitivity in both eyes, which is counteracted by wearing sunglasses at all times. Being a 27-year-old man, I of course decided to dress professionally that day in my Michael Jordan jersey and shorts. The doorbell rings for our first customer ever. Matt in the most non-creepy way answers with the demeanor of, "Hey, surprise! This business is actually a house, but you're okay with that, right? Please come in, we promise not to kill you. Please, trust us, this isn't weird." Of course, right after entering, the next thing they see is a sad 6'3" guy in a Jordan jersey laying across the couch with sunglasses on, with visible tears streaming down his cheeks. I can still remember the look of distrust. That's not loud, we have to finish the video. I can still remember the look of distrust that these poor people had when they walked through the front door. Trying my best to make this situation seem completely normal, I immediately said something along the lines of, "Yeah, so this is probably weird. Me wearing these dark shades inside while it looks like I've been crying. It's okay though, my eyes just split open, so no worries. Now who wants to go into the basement and relax?" Yeah, so that's the story. And to let everyone know, our first customers were great. They both stayed, floated, and seemed to have a great time. Sometimes luck is and isn't on your side. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Storytime. Like always, you can find out more information about floating through our website, YouTube, Facebook pages. Just ask us, call us.
You can also send personal handwritten mail to JP. He thoroughly enjoys.
I'll take some handwritten mail. But anyways, this is me signing off. And remember, there's always more to tell, but that's another story for another time. Thanks for watching.